before. All right, good morning, everyone. So first things first, for a little warm-up activity today, I want us to look at some of our vocabulary because we've been working with equations right before spring break. I know it's been a minute, but we're trying to get back into that. So in order to be really successful with our equations, we need to have some of the basic vocabulary down so that you understand the different parts of the equation and how to move them and use the inverse operations. Okay, so that's kind of the activity I want to warm up with today, and we're going to be doing that in groups. So I'm going to assign you guys groups just based off where your seating already is in the room, so you don't have to move too much. But when I give you your group, I would like you to move close together, okay, so that you guys can talk as a group and collaborate with each other, okay? So I'm going to have two groups of 4, and then one group of 3. All right, there's 11 of us today. So the first group of 4 is going to be the 4 of you over here: Christian, Alanis, Angelina, and Eric. All right, so you'll just kind of scoot a little close together once I give you the okay. All right. The next group of 4 is going to be Ray, Connor, Boston, and Sophia. Yeah. You guys in the middle there. And then our last group, number 3, is Matthew, Kayla, and Joseph. So you guys can probably come scoot up to Kayla and get in your group. All right. So I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds to get adjusted in your group, and then I'm going to get your attention so I can give you instructions. So go ahead and get in your group. Yeah, Joseph, if you have forward or Matthew, I'm going to come around and bring the group sticky notes. Let's do 10 more seconds. Get situated. I'm going to bring around some sticky notes, and then I'll explain. All right. All right, bring it back in 3, 2, 1, and voices off, please. All right, so I want to explain. I just brought to each of your groups a set of sticky notes. So what you're going to do is you have definitions on the board. There's 4 definitions: definition A, B, C, and D. So your group needs to read over those definitions and then look at the words that are on your sticky note pile, And your goal is to match the word to the proper definition. And what I'm gonna do is give you guys a set amount of time for each sticky note. We'll just go note by note, okay? And then one person from your group will come up and place that sticky note next to the definition that they think matches, okay? And I know I asked you guys to get playing cards when you came in. Just set those to the side for now. You just need one, not the whole deck. All right, so take one, Connor, and please put it back on the table so other people can grab what they need. But put those to the side for now. Alanis? Eric? You heard what I said? All right, so put it to the side for now, and we'll use that a little later on. All right, so go ahead and get started. I want you to first focus on the green sticky note. That one says coefficient. So you guys are trying to read and decide as a team which definition is the match for coefficient. All right, give you guys about a minute. We can start.
Can you see the board? Can you see it?
Well, what do we do when we think we know it? We just put it on the
We can't read it.
So your word's already on the sticky note. You're just trying to match it to one of these definitions. Yeah.
What's that?
Yep. I'm going to come around and just kind of listen to your conversations, see what ideas we're having.
And amount that can change or is unknown and is often represented by a letter is in. B, a value that does not change.
No,
and
guys,
has
we're
no
all
variable
focused
attached
on
to
the
it.
green sticky right now. Don't do all of them. Just focus on coefficient right now. So you're matching just one of these sentences to the green word coefficient.
C is
Alright.
a value used to multiply a variable.
So think about what a
And D
coefficient is. What do
a
you guys
number, variable, or
Okay,
the
ready for the
product
answer?
of a number and variable that are part
Alright.
of an expression and are separated by
What are you guys
plus
thinking? What comes
and
to mind when you hear the word
minus
coefficient?
signs.
Without looking at these definitions, give me your own definition.
Co.
A letter with-
here.
A number
The amount that can change or is
Yeah,
unknown
switch that.
and is
Oh,
also
letter with
represented by
like-
a letter.
Good, good, good. So you're on the right track. Which one would match that? So without looking at these definitions, Matthew's group, without looking at these definitions, what's kind of just, if you didn't have these up, what would you say a coefficient is? What's kind of your first thought? A number with a variable attached to it? Okay.
It has a J.
So, through, and if you're on the right track, through, what do you think matches that best?
No,
I don't think
We'll just discuss it as a group.
it's not happening.
I'll put another pen.
I've been playing these card games. I've been
When are we ready, Miss? I send you questions.
Alright, I'm gonna give you guys 10
When are we
seconds.
ready?
I haven't even lived 30 years.
You're just coming and sticking the sticky note next to the one you think matches.
I have a theory.
But if you could also write the letter, C or D.
I'm gonna say that the.
Alright, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I need your group to give a final answer, and as soon as you have it, I need you to come stick it next to the one that you think matches that word. One person from each group. And if you guys have different answers, it's fine. We'll discuss. Alright? A lot of us saying D. Okay, and then you're going for A. Is that right? I'm gonna just put an A on there.
So two of them say it's D, and he's the only one who says it's A.
So I need your group though was okay with you putting it as A. That's your final group decision. I know not everyone's gonna agree, but yeah,
Majority.
not sure. Okay, it looks like we're kind of not sure, so I'm just gonna put A for now, and we'll discuss as a class. All right, so guys, we are now gonna move on to the next sticky note. We're gonna review it. All right, I want to make sure you guys know what to do. So listen up. In 3,
I
2,
chose. This is
Boston, our voices are off in 1. Alright, eyes up here. Eric, what you need to do next is you need to look at your blue sticky note. The word is term. I need you to do the same thing. I'm going to give you a minute again. You need to guess which one matches the word term. What is a term? Alright, you have 1 minute and then I'd like you to decide. Term.
Oh.
Do we just go put it up as soon as you
Has your group agreed on that answer? No. Okay.
What do you guys think?
It has to
I think it'd be.
Yes.
Police actually also does.
Well, do we put the thing up there?
No, don't switch them.
No,
If you, so like, are you thinking it's, you answered A last round, are you now thinking this one is A? Oh, okay. Well then no, you can just put it in the place you think is
What
correct.
I do?
It's alright, it's just a computer. I'll move them out.
I don't know, but whatever he's doing, so obviously it's meant
There we go.
to.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, your computer turned off over there, Miss Dyson.
I know. Oh no, it's alright. It's
So I just put it up there.
20 seconds. Yeah, if your group's ready, you can put it up.
Are you sure about
Oh yeah.
So, again, I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked you last time. Without looking at these definitions, what is your definition of the word term? What do you think of when you hear that? Okay, a number. Any other thoughts? An equation. Okay. So are you thinking a term is the entire equation? Or are you thinking it's just part of an equation? What do you think? Part of it. Okay, so now you need to talk to your group. What part specifically?
I don't want to
What part of the equation
Yeah, I
specifically
just
is
called.
term? Read through this and see if it gives you a specific part of an equation.
You don't know the exact number though.
Okay. You guys put your.
What did they say?
There's only one spade in the deck. You probably
Oh, but it's not.
Alright. For the sake of time, I need my last group to come to a conclusion in 10 seconds. And then just give it a guess. Talk with your group.
It was definitely not hard.
like a tree looking thing.
What do you think?
Here, you already decided
Are you guys giving your input though?
They are, but he's not choosing to listen to their.
So,
he's-
could we come to a compromise and kind of, hear our partners out?
Massachusetts.
Just in general. We're gonna have to, because it's a group, we'll have to come to a compromise. And even if that wasn't exactly your thought, and your group got it wrong, it's fine, because you're still gonna show me at the end of the lesson that you know it as an individual. So you still have a chance to show me you know it, even if your group didn't come to the right agreement. Okay, so don't worry about that. Alright, give me your attention in 3, 2, 1. Thank you. We're now on to pink. So let's repeat this process again with the word variable. Alright? Most of you have narrowed it down to 2 that you haven't done, but if you start reading and you start thinking, oh, well maybe one I already chose matches variable better, then you could rearrange some sticky notes. I will be flexible and let you rearrange them if you'd like. Talk with your group. Alright, so what are you guys thinking for variable? See?
Coefficients there.
What's a variable? Just off the top of your head without reading the definition. We're not reading them anyway.
Since the term is used to
Yeah.
A variable is a letter that represents a number.
Okay, so help your group do a definition.
we did it in
Yes.
Put it,
That's
just
how
put
we're
it on
supposed
the
to be
board.
doing right now. Where did you get this deck?
It's his.
That's mine.
Oh, well I had a deck up here, so are you mixing my cards?
No.
No, you just mixed your colors.
No, I didn't. You're fine. But I'm gonna leave it here because it's not what you should be doing right now, alright?
Alright, yeah, it should be.
Alright, so your group's having agreements, good. 30 more seconds. Wow, a lot of people are choosing A. Everyone chose A, okay? Alright, so we're really good with variable. Alright, the other ones we seemed all kind of unsure on the other 2. So let's do the last one. Since everyone's done, we'll move on to constant.
Let me see.
Orange sticky, talk with your group and bring it up when you're ready.
It's basically.
What do you think of when you hear the word constant?
That doesn't have anything.
I didn't read the whole thing.
Gotta read the whole thing.
This.
Never changes, right?
This.
Because it's like,
Oh, so you know which one already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I said you should. You can change them. Yeah, that's fine.
When you're going up there, I'm thinking,
It's
giving all the answers.
stuff.
Whoa, over here, shuffling the cards. We're all doing
never
something.
changes because it's constant.
This doesn't have to pertain to the object. We're all doing work. But so each are doing negative, but still doing work.
Alright, so I see 2 orange. In 20 seconds, let's get our 3rd orange sticky note up there. Third orange sticky note, what are we thinking? What do we think of when we hear the word constant? What do we think of when we hear the word constant? Yeah, it stays the same. What stays the same? Yeah, not a variable. What would it be? It's not a variable. It's just a number, right? So are you guys thinking, I'll put that for you if you're ready, you're thinking C? Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and review these, and as we review, before we review, I'm actually going to ask you guys to scoot your chairs back just a tiny bit so everyone can see. Just kind of scoot to where you normally would be. Yeah, perfect. I'll give you guys a little time for that. You're good. You're good. I think you can see the board from here, right? I'm going to move this over just a tad. Alright, so group in the back, can you guys move back to your seats, Christian, Alana? Move those seats back. And let's do that in 10,
Was this your card?
9,
Here's what you do when you're.
8,
Here's what you do when you're children.
7,
You slam it against the floor and make it
6, 5. Boston, your group should be moving. 4. You should be changing your desks. 3, 2, 1. And 0. Pretty good. Alright. So, you guys were awesome with the variable. You guys were all really confident with that. You had all 3 pink sticky notes for A. So you guys knew that a variable was an amount that can change, it's unknown, and it's represented by what?
Letter.
By a letter, right? So I want you to look at this expression. I'm going to kind of also show you what we're going to be doing today as we review, okay? So I want you to look at this expression. Who can come up and show me, circle an example of a variable?
Can I change that really quick?
Final, answers are final. We'll discuss though. You can share your thoughts when we discuss. So Boston's going to circle an example of a variable for us. I know there's a lot of options there. So just go with one. So we said the variable. Alright, so Boston, you circled x squared. Now a variable is specifically what?
It's an amount that can change or is unknown and is often represented by a letter.
Represented by a letter. So it's specifically just a letter, right?
Yes.
So you're really close. What part of that do you need to not include in the circle?
The plus?
Not the plus.
Just the.
We just want the letter. So what needs to be taken out of the circle?
The whatchamacallit, the one that you are.
What's that word? Help him out. What's that
I
word?
forgot the name of the word.
What's that two?
Square.
Power. It's a power. Power of 2, an exponent, right?
Okay.
Alright, good job, thank you. So that's a good example of a variable. If you're asked how many variables this equation has, you would have to count and see how many different types of what there are. A variable is a letter.
Yes.
So you have to count and see how many different types of letters there are. How many different types of letters do you see in this expression?
So many. I can't count.
Boston showed us an X,
Y.
and he also showed and there's what other letter do you see besides X?
Y.
Y. So there's only how many types of variables there?
2.
There's only 2 types. The X and Y are there multiple times, but there's only 2 types of variables there. Okay? So great job. Let's move on to constants. So for a constant, a lot of you said that a constant was a value that does not change. It has no variable attached to it. And that is true. If something is constant, I want to give you a non-math example. If you have someone that's a constant friend, what does that mean?
If a friend is with you all.
They're always there for you. Nothing changes. They're always there. So beautiful. They're always there for you, right? That's never going to change. They're a constant friend. So that's the same thing for a constant in math. It's something that the value does not change. And we don't see a variable attached to it. So somebody come up and show me an example of a constant. Christian, show me an example of a constant, please.
I'll give you a hint. Nintendo.
Oh, I see.
I see
you.
True.
I see you. That was a good hint.
Oh, yes, it was.
You seen their real world?
Yeah, I get it. That's a no figure.
All right, let's stand up and get it done.
Oh, I
know, right? That was good.
So remember, I said B was correct. It's a value, a number that does not change. It has no variable. So where do you see a number with no variable in this expression? Good. Yeah.
You could have chose 64.
Perfect. And there's more than one answer here, but I asked Christian to just give us one. So he did what he was supposed to do. Thank you. Go ahead back. Boston, though, was saying what?
Nintendo 64.
You guys know Nintendo 64? And 64 is one of the terms there. So he was saying Nintendo's the hit, yeah.
Yeah, because they play Super
So, good eye, Boston. Alright, so good job. And most of us got constants as well. Now, there was some confusion with the last two. So we need to discuss those. I'm going to move this so we don't think that that is correct, okay? These are correct for B. We'll put that to the side.
That was mine.
I'm going to put actually all the blue to the side. And then we're going to re-sort these together.
So are those all wrong?
So you
No,
have, it's
sorry.
a 50-50 chance here, guys. So let's just read it really carefully. Let's read C. It's a value used to multiply a variable. So when I say value, what do you think of? Do you think of a number or a letter?
Think of a number.
A number, right? If something has value, has a number
Like
attached
money.
to it. Yeah, money has a value. Alright? So it's a value, a number, used to multiply a variable. So you have a some number being multiplied to a variable. So what would that look like? Would the number and the variable be touching?
That'd be a term.
Or would they have symbols in between them? Let me think carefully about that. Let me restate what I'm saying. We said that one of these is a value, right? A number. We agreed that value meant it was a number, right? So we're looking at a number that's being multiplied by a variable. So look at your equation now. What numbers have a variables next to them? Have a variables being multiplied to them?
19.
Okay, good. 19. You said 7, Sophia? Good. Who else? What else?
3.
Be a little more specific.
Negative 3.
-3.
Negative 2.
-2. Nice. All right. Does this have a number out front?
No. Yeah.
What are our invisible numbers? Herbert. Number 1. It's a visible number 1. All right. So guys, what would this be? This small number that's attached to the variable, would that be a coefficient or a term?
Yes.
That's the answer to the question. I heard it, Joseph say louder in the back. Coefficient. All right, so green should be here. So coefficient is that number that's attached to the variable. And it can be negative or positive. You'll see both. Alright? So obviously a term is any combination. I want you to make sure you understand this, Alanis and Eric, that it's any combination of numbers, variables, or numbers and variables together. A term. Any combination of that. So that's pretty much this whole expression, right? So what specifically am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the numbers and variables that are separated by the plus and the minus signs. So where do I have a plus sign? I have a minus sign here. I have a minus sign here. Plus, minus, minus, plus, plus, plus. All right, I just circled all my signs. Anything between those signs is a term. So what's my first term? What term is between these two subtraction signs? What term? It is, no, well, it has the negative out front. It's actually not positive. But what is that first term that's in between the two subtraction signs? Put that away, please.
I consider it using numbers.
In between these two signs is what term?
3x to the second power.
Yeah, 3x to the second power. And I'm actually going to undo this because this is actually a negative. So it would be negative 3x squared, or negative 3x to the second power. You can say it either way. All right. What would be the term here?
2y.
It would also be negative, negative 2y. Good. What would be the term here between these symbols?
19x.
19x. What's the symbol here? I'm sorry, what's the term there?
What's a negative 1?
A negative y. Good. So you understand that terms are any combination of variables and numbers between each sign, in each symbol. Okay? That was one we were a little confused on, so I wanted to make sure. Alright, so right now you need to get in pairs. So that means how many people in the group? Two, no more than two. We push that sometimes, promise me, 2 people. I think we have an odd number today though, so there will be 1 group of 3 and that will be good. So, hold on 1 second. Before you get your groups, I just want to let you know what you're doing. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to show you a new expression. And I want you to list the variables, the constants, the coefficients, and the terms. You need to give me the number and the type of each of those. And I'm going to give you a little sheet of paper that you can put your group work on. Alright? So go ahead and get your groups and I'll bring this around to you. Are you 3 going to work together? Okay, perfect. So here's your paper and then put your information on there. Alright. There you go.
I work by myself.
We already have a group of 3, so you guys need to. We already have a group of 3 over there, so you guys need to get into groups of 2. They already were set up. Sorry, didn't hear ya. There you go. Alright guys, your group work is going into the grade book. I'm gonna say that again. Your group work is going into the grade book. So give your best shot. I want you to do what we just did with this expression, but with a new one. Okay? As soon as you guys ready, I'm gonna scroll down.
I know, put my name on it. Well, you're not gonna do your I mean, just check on it.
And please put your partner names on your paper. I'm going to move these out of your way so you can see your expression. All right, you may begin.
Wait, what?
You and your partner may begin.
All right.
We're going to give this about 10 minutes. See what we can do in 10 minutes to sort the information.
So we just do the same thing?
Yep, so you're looking at this expression. So let me help you guys out. I want to know,
I'm sure
you see there's 4 boxes. I'm actually going to explain this to everyone at once. So guys, give me your attention in 3, 2, 1. Eyes and ears up here real quick, and then you can get started. Eric, so what we're going to do is, this is a new expression, it's not the same one, alright? I need you to tell me what types of variables you have in that square. Just tell me what types you have. You're going to tell me in the constant square how many constants you count. In the coefficient square, you're going to tell me how many coefficients you count. And then in the term square, you're going to tell me how many terms you count. So you're giving me an example of each.
What's this for?
And then how many there are. We might not get to that. We may have to kind of extend it to tomorrow, which is fine. We're going to basically probably use that tomorrow. I thank you guys though for being aware of it on the table and following the instructions. But I think we'll probably just end with this group work today because we're getting towards the end of the period. And then I'll have you draw new cards tomorrow and we'll continue to practice this concept with solving equations. Okay? Any questions about what you are expected to do in your group right now?
No.
Alright, I'm gonna float around. Ask me for help if you need help. Use your resources, use notes, use your group members. And remember, do not write anything until your group has agreed. Okay?
And I'll collect your card.
Oh, thank you.
No, constants. Let's just do constants.
I'm gonna zoom that in a little bit for you guys.
It's over there.
Very.
Oh.
Also very. You guys are.
That way we can.
You put it up already?
Her green card.
Give your card.
She probably got the M.
There you go.
There's right
I just
on the
wanted to
very
do it
box
in
right now.
for you a
Actually,
little
not.
bit.
You have the N.
Yeah, it's easier. I'm done. Your turn.
Sorry, I promise.
Alright, Christian, Connor, let's go.
I'll remember.
Where are you guys gonna start? You gonna start in the top corner turn?
Yeah, we're gonna start.
Alright, keep going. Alright, Matthew, Angelina, Kayla. Nice for variables, very good. Alright.
We write down the
That's all you gotta do for variables. So for the other ones, you're just writing a list of what the constants are, a list of what the coefficients are, a list of what the terms are. Let me make that clear to everyone, guys. I want to see lists. Don't just say there are 5 constants. That might have been my fault. I think I miscommunicated that. Don't just say there's 5 constants total. You know what I mean? I don't want the number. I want a list of what the constants are.
Yeah.
I want a list of what the coefficients are. Remember, some can be positive, some can be negative. Watch those negative signs. That's, I think, our biggest thing, is missing those negative signs. Alright, good job. Everyone's doing really well in the variables. Nice job. Nice job. What's a variable? Variables is the letters. Let's see a 2 here. Why do I see a 2 there?
Because of the square.
Yeah, but what's a variable? A variable is only a
Letter.
So I like that you're looking at this term, but what do you need to take out of it? Yeah, just tell me that.
Don't bite it, don't bite it.
That's what we're looking for.
If you find it, it will explode in your mouth.
Make sure you're checking in with Connor. You said the negative y counts as a coefficient. So, well, the y is a variable. So the y
Yeah, but it's got
is
numbers.
It does. And what is that invisible number? Be a little more specific. It's actually a negative. Good. Good.
Yeah, that's it. Herbert. And positive. That's it. What about positive one too?
So, real quick check-in. I'm seeing some things with coefficients. What's a coefficient?
A number with code here.
It's a number. Oh.
A number. No, that's a constant.
No. I'm sorry. I should have given you that face. You weren't wrong.
Yeah.
It does have a variable attached to it. But when I'm asking, so you're right. It does have a variable attached to it. But when I'm asking you to list the coefficients, we should just be writing what?
Alright, I got all the
I'm not asking you for a variable. I'm just asking you for that number attached to the variable. So when you're listing your coefficients, should we have letters in there?
No. She gagging.
I'm gonna ask that one more time. When you're listing your coefficients, should we have letters in there? No, coefficients is a value, it's a number. So make sure you're not writing any letters in your coefficient box.
Yeah, my eraser.
I like that you're seeing that they're
My
attached,
eraser is like a big.
but we just want the number that's attached to it.
Well, it's not here. Where's my
Good.
eraser?
Well, back the last 3 days, Mr. Great was case. Nobody was
Coefficients are specifically what?
I don't see it.
They're not every number though. They're only the numbers that have what in it. So make sure you're not writing every number. Make sure you're only writing numbers that have.
It's better when you
Do you have my eraser?
It's the confusion there. Yeah, just you can erase it. No big deal.
She's
No big deal.
What are you choking
Did you
This
lose
guy's
something?
I lost my eraser.
Is you like a new one? I don't know. Let me get you one.
Have you ever been in
Yeah, bro.
Is it 60?
What? It's a gift card.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, so write those 2 down and then hand it back to Angie.
Alright, so Connor, I was telling Christian, did you erase them?
Completely ignored.
Okay. We only want numbers that have variables attached.
And my mom. I mean,
How's it
if my
going?
mom's boyfriend's the one who
No,
gets rid of
I think you mixed this up with another one. Coefficients have what on the end? They have the letters on the end.
Does negative?
But when you're writing the coefficients, do you want to put the letters? No, we just want to put the the number attached to it, okay? What you had there was good for one of the other words though.
Does negative x,
Got it?
Huh?
like
So can I
negative
put the X to it?
So tell me what is one thing, what is a coefficient you're thinking of writing?
3x squared.
Yeah, because I have.
Okay, and it's negative, right? So negative 3x squared. So right now, what you're doing, Eric, you just told me a term. That's an entire term.
Okay.
So if you write that, you're telling me a term.
Okay.
I just want the coefficient. So which part of this term is your coefficient? Is it the letter or the number here?
The number.
It's just this number right here, which is
Negative 3.
negative 3.
So that's the coefficient.
So the coefficient would just be negative, yeah.
And you tell me to put the variable.
No, if you don't write the variable, you just write the number attached to it. I know what your confusion is, and I'm trying, I know, I can tell, and I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it to you, so let me explain it to you. For coefficients, you only want to write a number. But it has to be a number that has a variable or letter at the end of it.
That's the part that confuses me.
So
You're
look-
saying, you're telling me to put the
That's not
number,
fair.
what's the variable?
You don't want to write the letter, but you can only write the numbers that have one on it. So, let me give you an example. This negative 3 has an x attached to it. So negative 3 is a coefficient. Would you agree with that? Because it has a variable attached to it. So when you go to write that in the space, you only write the number.
It's the whole
Okay.
expression.
Look at this term.
3x squared.
Does that have a variable attached to it? No, so that wouldn't be a coefficient. It is a number, but it wouldn't be a coefficient. What would it be? Good. So that's the difference. Constants have no letter, coefficients have a letter. I know, I see the confusion with the coefficient, but I think everyone's cleared that up. That's good. Do you guys have questions? Yeah. So good, positive 19, 2, negative 3. Yeah. So I'm going to show you guys what I just showed Christian. I want you to look at these two terms, red. I want you to look at these two terms circled in red. So both of them have a number, right? This one has the number negative 3, and this one has the number negative 64. With me so far?
Yes.
What's the difference, though? Yeah, we agree. The symbol, one has an x and an exponent, yeah. And then one doesn't have a variable, right? So, which one of these would be a coefficient? The one with the variable or without it? A coefficient always has a variable attached. But when you write it, you just write the number. Okay? Yes, there's an x attached to it. That's what makes it a coefficient. But the coefficient is specifically just that number next to the variable. Okay? This has no variable, so it would be what? Good. Constant.
Oh, okay.
So remember, a term is anything between your symbols, your positive and your plus and minus symbols. So, what's the term here? Here's a minus symbol, a plus symbol. What's between it? A 2y, and then yes, it's negative in value. Good. What's between this plus symbol? I'm going to erase this so I can show you guys. What's between this plus symbol and this minus symbol? The 19x. And the symbol to the left tells you its value. Positive. What's between this symbol and this symbol? 1y, and then the symbol to the left tells you its value. Negative 1y. Okay?
But do we still put the variable with the number?
Yeah, the term is the entire thing. The term is what you like. You get to write everything.
So.
How's it going?
7x.
Oh. Negative 1. So,
too.
So like, I just doubt so like,
Alright, remember constants. Would they have a letter or not have a letter?
Your relative here is busy.
Okay, so look here. Which number does not have a letter attached to it? Just the server?
64.
Good. Now don't forget the negative.
Yeah.
Yep.
And 11.
Alright.
Yeah.
Nice.
You cut down.
You guys are done? Connor, you agree? Looked over everything?
Good.
Alright, I'm gonna have you guys turn that in if you are ready to turn it in. You guys ready to hold your answers ready to turn it in? Good, Taylor? Alright.
Wow,
Alright, 1 minute till we pack up. So wrap up your group work if you can. You guys ready to turn in? Alright, please put your name. Boston, Joseph, you ready to turn in?
Yes. Yeah,
Names are on it?
Yes.
Sophia, Ray, ready to turn in? What's up your top there? Alright, I'm gonna have you guys finish that tomorrow, alright?
They knew each other when you lived it, like before I was born.
Alright, listen up. Before you pack up, in 3, 2, give me your attention in 1 second. Before you guys leave, quick check-in. Somebody give me an example of a constant for today.
Constant?
Wait 1 second. Somebody, anyone, shout it out. An example of a constant for today.
64.
Good. Somebody give me an example of a variable from this.
Why?
Good. I heard X and Y. Good. Someone give me.
11.
That would be a what?
Constant.
Good. A coefficient. Give me an example of a coefficient. Ooh, no, because that doesn't have a variable. Guys, give me an example of a coefficient. What part of that do you want to say for coefficient? The letter or the number? Oh, we gotta work on coefficient tomorrow. Alright, someone give me a term.
X. I mean, no. 3x to the second, negative 3x to the second power.
Very good, thank you. Hey, Red, what would be the coefficient in that? Is the coefficient just the number or the letter?
The number?
It's the number attached, right? So what's the number there?
-3.
There you go. You guys know coefficient. We'll go over that tomorrow though.